The year was 1929. It was a time of great optimism and prosperity, with the roaring 20s in full swing. People believed that the good times would never end. The world watched in disbelief. The news spread like wildfire, and the initial shock quickly turned into panic. The American stock market crashed. The once bustling trading floors of Wall Street were now scenes of chaos and despair. A global crisis was about to begin. The ripple effects of the crash were felt in every corner of the world, affecting economies far and wide. What started as a financial crisis in the United States quickly transformed into the Great Depression. Banks failed, businesses closed, and millions of people were left in financial ruin. It was the worst economic downturn in modern history. The streets were empty, businesses shuttered, and the once vibrant cities became ghost towns. Millions lost their jobs, their homes, and their hope. Families were torn apart, and the American dream turned into a nightmare for many. The unemployment rate in the United States soared to 25%, a staggering figure that reflected the widespread despair. People lined up for hours, hoping for any kind of work. Breadlines, a poignant symbol of the era, became commonplace as people struggled to feed their families. Soup kitchens sprang up to provide some relief, but it was never enough. The economic engine of the world had stalled, and the consequences were felt far beyond American shores. Global trade came to a standstill, and nations around the world grappled with the fallout. The Great Depression was not confined to the United States. It rippled across the globe, leaving a trail of economic devastation in its wake. International trade plummeted as countries, fearful and uncertain, retreated into protectionism. This only exacerbated the crisis, creating a vicious cycle of declining demand and economic contraction. Germany, still grappling with the aftermath of World War I, was hit particularly hard. The collapse of the Weimar Republic paved the rise for extremist ideologies, most notably the Nazi Party. The global turmoil created fertile ground for political instability and social unrest. In the United States, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt took office in 1933, a time when the country was in the grips of the Great Depression. The economic downturn had left millions of Americans unemployed and struggling to make ends meet. With a promise to get America back on its feet, Roosevelt's inaugural speech instilled hope and determination in the hearts of many. He famously declared that, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." His response to the crisis was the New Deal, a series of programs and reforms designed to provide relief, recovery, and reform. These measures aim to stabilize the economy and provide jobs and support to those in need. These initiatives focused on creating jobs, providing social security, and regulating the financial system. The New Deal brought about significant changes in the way the government interacted with the economy and the welfare of its citizens. One of the most iconic programs was the Works Progress Administration, which employed millions of Americans in public works projects. This initiative not only provided immediate employment but also aimed to improve the nation's infrastructure. From building roads and bridges that connected communities and facilitated commerce, to creating murals and theatrical productions that enriched the cultural fabric of the nation, the WPA left a lasting legacy on the American landscape and in the arts. Its impact can still be seen today in the many public works and cultural projects that continue to benefit communities across the country. The road to recovery was long and arduous. The New Deal, while groundbreaking, did not single-handedly end the Great Depression. The global nature of the crisis meant that recovery was dependent on international cooperation, which was in short supply as nations grappled with their own internal struggles. The rise of protectionist policies, while seemingly offering a solution in the short term, ultimately hindered global trade and slowed down the recovery process. Countries turned inward, erecting trade barriers and devaluing currencies in a desperate attempt to protect their own economies. While the New Deal in the United States represented a significant interventionist approach, other countries adopted different strategies to combat the Depression. Great Britain, for instance, opted for a more austere approach, focusing on balancing the budget and reducing government spending. In Germany, the Nazi government implemented a program of rearmament and public works, effectively ending mass unemployment but at a high cost. The policies pursued by the Nazis, while providing economic relief, were ultimately driven by an aggressive ideology that plunged the world into another devastating war. The Great Depression serves as a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of the global economy. It was a time when the world witnessed unprecedented economic turmoil, leading to widespread poverty and unemployment. The ripple effects were felt across continents, affecting millions of lives, and the profound consequences of economic instability. Families were torn apart, businesses shuttered, and entire communities were left in despair. The images of breadlines and closed factories are etched into our collective memory. It underscores the importance of international cooperation, responsible fiscal policies, and the need for robust economic frameworks. Leaders from around the world came together to find solutions, emphasizing the necessity of working together to prevent such a catastrophe from happening again, and social safety nets in mitigating the impact of such crises. Programs were developed to support those in need, providing a lifeline to the most vulnerable populations. These initiatives were crucial in helping societies rebuild and recover. The lessons learned from the Great Depression continue to resonate today. They serve as a powerful reminder of the importance of vigilance and preparedness in economic planning. The global financial crisis of 2008, which saw the collapse of major financial institutions and a severe economic downturn, while different in its specifics, evoked comparisons to the Great Depression. The parallels drawn between these two events highlight the cyclical nature of economic crises and the importance of learning from history. Evoked comparisons to the Great Depression and highlighted the need to heed the lessons of the past. Experts and analysts delved into the data, drawing insights and making recommendations to avoid future pitfalls, and highlighted the need to heed the lessons of the past. Educational institutions and seminars have since emphasized the importance of understanding these historical events. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century global economy, it is imperative to remain vigilant and proactive. Understanding the causes and consequences of the Great Depression remains as crucial as ever. By studying the past, we can better prepare for the future, ensuring a more stable and prosperous world for generations to come.